Professional bird dogs must be reliable, sociable, and very good at what they do. Many guests take these dogs for granted, as they are an expected part of the package a good lodge or outfitter delivers. But behind the scenes, things are more complicated. What does it take to be a great lodge dog? Temperament, instincts, expert training? Three professional bird hunting guides chewed over that question as we took a break while waiting for a brief squall to blow through the spectacular canyon of High Lonesome Ranch in Debec, Colorado, where we were hunting pheasants, huns, and chukars. Rob Arnold of High Country Sporting Dogs quickly replied, "If you don't have the genetics, you can't have the training." He further pointed out that drive and trainability are most important, with sociability being a nice attribute but not really necessary in a great lodge dog. Rob's words echoed those of Blaine Carter, a Maine master guide and breeder of German short-haired pointers. A few years earlier, I had asked him why my pup, from his and his wife Patty's Merry Meeting Kennels, seemed to have come loaded with a 150-gigabyte hard drive, while so many other dogs seemed to do well enough with just 30 or 40 gigabytes. Blaine explained they breed dogs he can guide with, dogs I can count on. Ones that won't have a bad day, that will be ready to retrieve ducks in icy waters on Tuesday, chase down a crippled grouse in thick woods on Wednesday, be responsive to the hunters, and have all the nose and strength and smarts to do the work they're asked to do. Some guides own and train their own dogs. Others use dogs belonging to the lodge or outfitter. Those who use their own need backup dogs in case one gets sick or injured. Guides who use the lodge's dogs need either to train them themselves or learn how to handle the dogs the ways they've been trained. For example, if a dog answers to come, but the guide is used to saying, "Here," at some point there will be frustrated pheasant hunters waiting for a big running canine to rejoin the party. Some dogs work well together, in a brace or in a pointer-flusher combination. Other dogs don't. A snarling, full-fanged dog tussle in a quiet quail field isn't conducive to pleasant hunting. Rob Arnold prefers dogs with personalities that are hard-driven, bold, confident, and scrappy. Angus, his number one dog, a black lab, is an expressive, personable dog whose touch of white at the muzzle belies his strength and enthusiasm. He goes about his job with confidence, working with Rob as much as he works for him. High Lonesome Ranch guide Mark Weaver pointed out that the bond between a guide and the dogs he or she handles takes time. "It goes beyond just training or working with the dog," said Mark. "A guide needs to understand the dog's personality and capabilities. They need to develop a level of communication together that will work smoothly in the field." Watching Rob and Mark work the labs makes that very clear. They communicated with those dogs without overcalling and without exaggerated sweeping hand or arm signals. An occasional whistle or a subtle gesture was all that was needed to keep the dogs in perfect gun range. It was clear the guides could tell instantly when the dogs had scent and when they were close to the flush. That, in turn, lets the guides alert the hunters to get ready for the shot. Obviously, training varies depending on breed and type of hunting. Laurie Michaels of Sky Trekking Alaska, who is guided with her English pointers in Georgia, Alaska, Idaho, and Hawaii, explained that dogs that are too hard or too soft can be a problem. Some are just too hard-headed and can't be trained. On the other hand, dogs that are too soft are more time-consuming to train. If you need to wait until a dog is 6 or 8 months old before starting, you've lost a lot of time and might have problems already developed that will need to be corrected. Laurie spends countless hours training her dogs, following a well-developed program of bird introduction, collar conditioning, and finishing. In the off-season, she roads her pointers on a precise schedule designed to balance their muscular and cardiovascular exertion with the appropriate amount of rest and recovery. Laurie had brought one of her English pointers, Parker, to High Lonesome Ranch to hunt with the ranch's dogs. Joining High Lonesome's pointer, Cool, Parker assessed the canyon's grassland and draws quickly, adjusting his range to match Cool's as they worked in a brace. Each honored the other's points. Each responded to his handler without any confusion over the trainer's commands. Some handlers ask hunters not to talk to their dogs while in the field, but Mark said, "It really doesn't matter. Our dogs won't pay attention. On any given hunt, they know who to listen to, who's handling them, and won't take commands from anyone else." All three guides agreed that dogs destined for a professional guiding career need to be trained differently than dogs trained for personal use. The expectations are often different, said Rob. A dog trained for personal use might not be expected, or need, to be as staunch or steady as a guide dog. Can house or family dogs be as good as professional bird dogs that live exclusively in kennels and have lives focused only on hunting? That takes us back to instinct and desire, Rob replied. The guides agreed that the hard drive needed in a pro dog might, in some cases, manifest in a dog that isn't well suited for domestic life, particularly if it doesn't get enough exercise and outlet for that drive. Very often, softer dogs make better family dogs, Mark added. But exceptions exist, of course. Asked which was the best dog he's guided with, Mark said High Lonesome's black lab, Jake, was it. Jake has heart. He once climbed into a tree to get a bird. He'll keep going no matter how tired he is. Jake is 9 now, and the young dogs learn from his smarts and savvy. Laurie's English pointer, Elvis, is her top choice for having the most drive and never quitting. Rob's Angus gets the vote too. Angus is the ultimate versatile lab, Rob said. He's got heart and desire. When I think of Angus, I get a vision of him spinning around in a thick clump of sage to flush the bird. What was the worst dog they ever handled? No one wanted to give names or details, but one story involved a dog with such terrible anxiety it wouldn't look at a bird and would drool incessantly. Another story recounted a hunter who had brought along a family pet that had no cooperation, obedience, or hunting skills and simply ran away. 2 miles. Guest hunters can do a lot to respect the training and safety of professional bird dogs. The guides made 2 important suggestions. The first is to give dogs adequate berth before shooting and to carefully watch low shots. Athletic dogs are capable of leaping into the air after a flushing bird. The second is to pay attention to dogs, remembering that they're the ones finding the game and your best resource for getting a good shooting opportunity. The guides also had suggestions for hunters who prefer to bring their own dogs. Foremost is to consider the location. If you're coming to a place like High Lonesome Ranch, remember we're up in altitude. If you're coming from sea level, your dog's lungs, like yours, won't be used to the thinner air, Rob noted. It's important to understand the terrain, Laurie added. Conditioning is essential. When we hunt on the tundra, it's very difficult. Dogs that aren't in condition get injured. Rocky terrain, such as in Idaho, might require booties. Out-of-shape dogs might need to start with shorter hunts. Elvis, Parker, AK, Danger, Rap, Hooligan, Becky, Regan, Rowdy, Jake, Tuttle, Kayla, Cool, Raider, Angus, and Ace are professionals. Their instincts and drive help them meet the tasks set by their owner or handlers every time they enter the field. They've earned their professional status, and they clearly joyfully love their job. Republished with permission from What It Takes, Professional Bird Dogs by Nancy Anisfield, 2010. The Upland Almanac, Summer 2010. 2010 by Nancy Anisfield.